What if I told you the secret to a thriving garden isn't a fancy fertilizer but something thousands of years old? If you've ever looked at your garden beds and wondered why your soil feels lifeless, why your plants struggle despite your best efforts, or how you can create a truly organic growing environment without relying on synthetic amendments, you're about to discover a game-changing solution. The answer lies in an ancient grain called Einkorn, and its remarkable ability to attract and nourish the hardest-working members of your garden ecosystem, earthworms. Einkorn wheat stands as humanity's oldest cultivated grain, dating back over 10,000 years to the Fertile Crescent of ancient Mesopotamia. Unlike modern hybridized wheat varieties that have been genetically modified for commercial agriculture, Einkorn remains unchanged, retaining its original genetic structure with just 14 chromosomes compared to modern wheat's 42. This ancient grain possesses a nutritional profile that makes it extraordinarily valuable not just for human consumption but as an exceptional food source for earthworms. The grain contains high levels of readily digestible proteins, essential amino acids, and a unique carbohydrate structure that breaks down efficiently in soil environments. The science behind Einkorn's effectiveness as a worm attractant is fascinating. Earthworms are detritivores, meaning they consume decaying organic matter, but they're selective feeders with preferences based on nutrient density and digestibility. Einkorn's simple genetic structure translates to simpler starches and proteins that decompose more readily than complex modern grains. As the grain breaks down in your soil, it releases a rich array of nutrients including nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals that earthworms find irresistible. The fermentation process we'll discuss creates organic acids and beneficial microorganisms that further enhance its appeal, essentially creating a buffet that draws worms from surrounding areas like a beacon. When compared to general compost or chemical additives, Einkorn offers distinct advantages for attracting earthworms specifically. While compost provides broad organic matter, it lacks the concentrated nutritional punch that makes Einkorn so attractive to worms. Chemical fertilizers might boost plant growth temporarily, but they often harm earthworm populations through salt buildup and pH disruption. Einkorn represents a middle path, a targeted natural intervention that works with your soil's biology, rather than against it. The grain's density means a little goes a long way, and its natural composition ensures you're not introducing anything foreign or potentially harmful into your growing environment. DIY worm attractant, the Einkorn brew, is actually pretty easy to make and doesn't require much investment at all. Start by obtaining whole Einkorn berries, which you can usually find at health food stores, online retailers, or specialty grain suppliers. You'll need about 2 cups of grain for every 100 square feet of garden space you want to treat. Using a grain mill, coffee grinder, or even a food processor, just coarsely grind the Einkorn berries until they look like a rough flour, with some larger pieces still in there. This partial grinding increases the surface area for fermentation while keeping enough structure so the mixture doesn't become completely liquefied. Place your ground Einkorn in a large glass jar or food-grade plastic container and add water at a ratio of 1 part grain to 3 parts non-chlorinated water. If you have city water, let it sit uncovered overnight so the chlorine can evaporate, or just use filtered water. Stir the mixture thoroughly and loosely cover the container with a breathable cloth, secured with a rubber band. This lets gases escape while keeping debris out. Store the mixture at room temperature, away from direct sunlight, and give it a good stir once a day for 3 to 5 days. You'll notice the mixture starting to ferment, with a slightly sour, yeasty smell and some small bubbles forming. This fermentation process cultivates beneficial microorganisms and starts breaking down the grain's nutrients into forms that earthworms can actually use. When you're ready to apply your Einkorn brew to the garden, timing and technique really do matter. The best time is during the cooler parts of the day, either early morning or evening, when earthworms are more active near the soil surface. Dig shallow trenches about 4 inches deep and 6 inches apart throughout your target area. Then, pour the fermented mixture into these trenches, spreading it out evenly. After that, cover it with soil and water gently but thoroughly. The moisture helps carry the scent and nutrients deeper into the soil profile, and also keeps the mixture from drying out on the surface. Plan to use around 1 to 2 cups of the prepared mixture per 10 square feet of garden space. The smell of fermentation is noticeable, but honestly, it's not unpleasant. It's a lot like sourdough starter or beer brewing. And don't worry, it'll fade away within a day or two as the mixture works its way into the soil. For storage, your prepared Einkorn brew keeps well in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks, though its effectiveness, honestly, peaks within the first week of preparation. If you notice any off-putting odors suggesting spoilage rather than fermentation, or if mold appears, it's best to discard the batch and start fresh. Application frequency depends on your goals and current worm population. For establishing worms in new garden areas, you'll want to apply the mixture every 2 to 3 weeks for the first 2 months, then transition to monthly maintenance applications. In established gardens with healthy worm populations, seasonal applications in spring and fall provide excellent results without overfeeding. The transformation your soil undergoes after introducing Einkorn feed creates visible, measurable improvements that unfold over time. Within the first week you'll notice increased surface activity, with earthworm castings appearing more frequently around treated areas. These castings, essentially worm manure, look like small granular mounds of dark, nutrient-rich soil. By week 2, digging into treated areas reveals significantly more earthworms at various depths, often tripling or even quadrupling the population, compared to untreated control areas. The worms you'll find include various species, from small red wigglers near the surface to larger night crawlers that tunnel deep into the subsoil. The improvements extend far beyond just worm numbers. Soil structure undergoes remarkable changes as earthworms tunnel through the treated areas. Their constant movement creates channels that improve aeration and water infiltration, helping to prevent compaction and waterlogging. The soil takes on a crumbly, friable texture that gardeners describe as having good tilth, meaning it holds together when squeezed but crumbles easily when pressure is released. Color changes become apparent too, as earthworm castings darken the soil and organic matter becomes more thoroughly incorporated. Plants growing in these areas display enhanced vigor with deeper green foliage, stronger stems, and more robust root systems that penetrate deeper into the improved soil structure. Testing your results doesn't require expensive equipment. Simple visual observations and hands-on assessments tell the story clearly. Conduct a basic earthworm count by digging a cubic foot of soil and counting the worms you find. Healthy garden soil should contain at least 10 earthworms per cubic foot, while truly thriving soil may house 20 or more. Monitor plant performance by comparing growth rates, flowering intensity, and harvest yields between treated and untreated areas. Many gardeners photograph their garden beds before treatment and document changes weekly, creating compelling before and after comparisons that showcase the method's effectiveness. The ripple effects of establishing a thriving earthworm population extend throughout your entire garden ecosystem, creating benefits that compound over seasons and years. Earthworms function as nature's tillers, constantly moving through soil and mixing organic matter with mineral particles. This biological activity creates stable soil aggregates that resist erosion while maintaining pore spaces for air and water movement. Each earthworm can process its body weight in organic matter daily, converting it into castings that contain 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than the surrounding soil. This natural fertilization happens continuously without any effort on your part once the worm population establishes itself. Water management improves dramatically in worm-rich soils. The extensive tunnel networks earthworms create allow rainfall and irrigation water to penetrate deeply rather than running off the surface or pooling in low spots. During dry periods, these same channels help soil retain moisture by reducing evaporation and allowing plant roots to access water stored in deeper soil layers. This improved water dynamics means you'll irrigate less frequently while maintaining healthier plants, a crucial advantage in water-scarce regions or during drought conditions. The environmental benefits extend beyond your property lines too, as better water infiltration reduces runoff that might carry pollutants into storm drains and waterways. Using Einkorn as a worm attractant represents more than a single technique. It embodies a philosophy of working with natural systems rather than attempting to dominate them. This approach acknowledges that healthy soil is alive, filled with countless organisms all playing vital roles in nutrient cycling, disease suppression, and plant health. By focusing on feeding soil life rather than feeding plants directly, you create resilient growing environments that become more productive and self-sustaining over time. The ancient grain serves as a bridge between traditional agricultural wisdom and modern organic gardening practices, reminding us that sometimes the best solutions come from looking backward to move forward. Ready to transform your garden from the ground up? Give this ancient grain method a try and watch as your soil comes alive with beneficial earthworms. We'd love to hear about your experiences, so drop a comment below sharing your results and any observations you make along the way. If you found this guide valuable, please subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for more innovative, sustainable gardening techniques that work with nature instead of against it. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to discover what thriving, living soil can do for their gardens. Together, we're cultivating a future where gardens flourish through natural, time-tested methods that honor the wisdom of the soil.